The country is still recovering from the damage caused by looting and violent protests in what started out as a Free Zuma campaign. This follows the arrest of former President Jacob Zuma for being in contempt of court. The economy's suffered a crippling hit of well over 20 billion rand. Over 200 people have lost their lives, while thousands have been arrested. Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman from South African Non-Governmental Organisation and Disaster Relief Group Gift of the Givers joins me now to discuss this, along with the interventions the organisation has set in place to help overcome this. Dr. Sooliman, thank you very much for your time, as always. There's so much need. Tell us about how Gift of the Givers has been reaching out to affected areas in KZN and Gauteng to assist those in need.
Good evening, Anlie. The demand is absolutely huge. In the last 24 hours, I've got 4,000 SMS on my phone, people requiring food. Now, we have to look at this in context. Firstly, when the violence happened, we provided, within the 48 hours, we started providing milk and bread. And as the shops opened up, of course, people could access the milk and bread themselves, although there's queues, there's difficulty. But overall, the shops are doing very well to bring the milk and bread in. But right at the onset, we found that healthcare workers couldn't come to work. They couldn't come to hospitals. Ambulances were attacked, paramedics were attacked, security was an issue, fuel was an issue, and hospitals would call us and say, we don't have any staff, we have 2 nurses per ward, we don't have much doctors, we're having all these casualties, we can't do anything with the patients coming to casualty with gunshot wounds, with stab wounds, we don't have enough supplies. And the supplies were also affected by the fact that 2 huge pharmaceutical wholesalers were burned. A pharmaceutical manufacturing company was burned, 70 pharmacies were burned. So the staff that were there could not go in queues. It was inappropriate to send them to go in queues. Who's going to look after the patients? And other hospitals called us, both private and public, to say their patients haven't eaten for the last few days. So we implemented a plan to support healthcare workers and provide food parcels for them, even though they could afford it. But this was very temporary, and they had a choice of paying for it if they wanted to, and most of them wanted to make a contribution. It's a 1-month food parcel, which means while shops are getting rehabilitated, while stock is coming in, for the next month, healthcare workers don't have to concentrate on going to the shops. They can concentrate on the patients in the hospital. And the COVID cases are climbing in KZN. In addition to that, we provided food to hospitals, and we've been doing that. Then came another request. Requests came from old age homes, orphanages, homes for the physically and mentally challenged. And all this has been brewing for some time because there was a difficulty before COVID, there was difficulty during COVID, there was difficulty before the looting happened, and there's difficulty during the looting, where you find now that people who may not be directly affected, the shops are open, so they can't say they can't access goods, but they don't have the means. People are really, really battling, and they're hungry. So we've been supporting these institutions, and now we're busy with the rollout of food parcels we started a few days ago. A lot of people are concentrating on the city centers, but it's a lot of outlying areas that help. Today our trucks went to Mpangeni. Tomorrow they're on the way to Ishawi. And we have to go beyond that. And when I say Mpangeni and Ishawi, and yesterday we were in Amzinto, it's not only the town itself. It's all the settlements around the towns, and they could run into hundreds of kilometers, which requires a lot of support.
Dr. Sooliman, in delivering aid, you, your volunteers, your members, expose yourselves to incredible danger and great risk. Have you added or increased security in making sure that these deliveries arrive safely and that those making the deliveries are also safeguarded?
The first 2 days, my staff were tense. They were tense coming from work from home to work. They were anxious when they hear, there's so many fake stories going on, and there's so many things on social media, and then you hear a gunshot, and then you think it's a gunshot, but somebody just cracking a pallet. So all that kind of stuff caused a lot of anxiety, and they were afraid to come to work. So the first few days, it was a handful of people, just sorting out those packages. To answer your question, we then had to send armed security with the vehicles as we were going out. But we're finding that as the days are going by, there seems to be not much threat or no threat at all to the convoys. And what's happening is when you get to a place, remember we're making these arrangements in advance. We just don't come there ad hoc, haphazard, just drop some stuff. Everything is calculated. They need to tell us how many food parcels. They say 235. You will only get 235. Not 234 and not 236. You will get 235. So you have to arrange in advance. And because there's been a lot of control by the citizens taking, their own defense into their own hands, they will come in a particular area and say, look, bring the truck here. Here's the people, they will come. And it's slightly different this time. Normally, we will do the distribution ourselves for every person. But it's going to take too long. The calls are too many, and there's too many areas that need our help. So we have to bring our staff back quickly to start making more parcels to go back again. So we're finding reliable people in the communities that have set themselves up, to assist each other. And we're passing it on to them. And they are taking care of the security needs. But even them, to be honest, up till now, nobody's had a real problem.
Dr. Sooliman, we've seen incredible help from South Africans far and wide, people volunteering to help clean up, people volunteering, as you've said, to patrol and to man roadblocks and to try and secure neighbourhoods. We've also seen many South Africans contributing basic goods or money to organisations like yourself. Just describe for us, just so that we can get a little bit of positive energy and some hope, the kind of donations that you've received.
It's huge. Standard Bank, 15 million. Vodacom, 5 million. 1 million from the Vodacom CEO himself, Shamil Jusuf. 1 million from the Solly and Zora Noor Foundation is individuals. More than 200 corporates waiting in the line to do something. Heartening that South Africans from all over the world speaking to me, telling me they left the country 20 years ago, but their heart is still here. Each one setting up a campaign, expanding that campaign to Canada, UK, Ireland, Germany, Holland, Australia, New Zealand, UAE, Sweden, Denmark, all over wanting to do something within the country itself, from all groups, all walks of life. But the good thing is, the important thing is, South Africans embrace each other. Instigators are trying to make this into a racial war. It serves their purpose for us to divide each other and fight against each other. But South Africans came across in the streets, standing, holding each other's hands, sweeping together, cleaning together, and helping each other across race, across religion, across color, providing food, making milk, bread available, food parcels available, sharing from their own houses, giving to their neighbors and their friends. And that has been an indomitable spirit of Ubuntu and love and affection. We need to learn from this. We can't keep going back to this over and over again. As South Africans, we need to embrace each other, and we need to go forward, have a dialogue, sort out the problems that's affecting us, and we can do it. And you can see, and I've been even told from different areas, for the first time, yes, some people said they want to leave the country. But other people are saying for the first time, overwhelmingly, people didn't say we want to leave. They said, how can we help? And that's the spirit in the country right now.
Dr. Sooliman, before I let you go, how can South Africans watching help? What do you still need?
Food is a huge, huge need. There's a big need for food. One of the other aspects I didn't cover is that, well, two aspects. One is we're preparing to supply hospitals with medication, because as I said, those pharmaceutical industries were destroyed, and we're waiting already. And the other thing is, like optometry practices, over 45 to 50 optometry practices were destroyed. A lot of doctors' practices were destroyed. Blood bank has been destroyed. There's a shortage of blood. And we find that there's going to be support in the medical field that's required. Already one hospital called me tonight. They need 20 ophthalmology chairs. And also they need syringes for vaccines. Because of the burning, they have a shortage of those items for vaccines. And we look, and they want PPEs and other items. We're providing that to the hospitals, so that kind of support will be very, very useful. A lot of children need diapers. They need baby cereal, for the slightly bigger children, they need that. And whatever support we can get for that. Cash contributions will be fine. Kind contributions, please. We can't take 3 tons from one house, fish sugar from another house. It's not practical. It's a logistic nightmare. It's better to make cash contributions. If you want to make contributions in kind, then it has to be like pallet loads or whole container load. It's much easier to facilitate. We're rushing against time. We want to get to as many people as fast as possible. And KZN is big. 40,000 shops have been affected. And a huge amount of people have been affected. So we want to get to them as fast as possible. And the last thing is the small businesses where we can help to rehabilitate. We want to do that because we don't want to be giving out food parcels every week or every month. We want people to go into business themselves, and we want them to re-employ people, 2, 3, 4 people. We need to save the jobs in this country.
Thank you very much for everything you continue to do. Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman from Gift of the Givers. Such a huge need, but such incredible outpouring of love from South Africans all over the country.